everyone, we are back on the video lecture for thermodynamics. In the lecture last we were up to interrelation between delta H and delta U according to definition of enthalpy. Okay. So the relation we obtained in the last video lecture was delta H, enthalpy change for the reaction phase, is equal to delta U plus P delta V, which alternatively can be taken as delta H is equals to delta U plus delta nRT. Okay. These were the equations that we have seen in the previous one. Okay, this one is visible to you. Would mark the outlines for it. Now in present video lecture we are going to discuss under which conditions this enthalpy change and internal energy change can be equal to each other. The basic relation is delta H is equals to delta U plus P delta V or delta nRT, where P delta V terms stand for a work done of a PV type. Same work done when considered in case of a gas phase reaction, the work done is taken as a delta nRT. Instead of P delta V, it is taken as a delta nRT. So the equation becomes delta H equals to delta U plus delta nRT. Delta U alternatively can be taken as delta E also, which is the symbolic representation for internal energy change. Now what are the possible conditions under which these two values of delta H and delta U can be equal to each other? We would slot them one by one. Okay. Now suppose we have a homogeneous gas phase reaction. Homogeneous gas phase reaction for which delta N is equal to 0. Now when delta N for certain reaction is 0, that means entire term delta nRT, this will become 0, and as in conclusion we can say delta H is equals to delta U. A prime condition it is. Next, suppose a system is a closed container and a process is conducted in isochoric manner. For isochoric process or isochoric change, we have a basic conclusion for isochoric process delta V is equal to 0. Now when term delta V is 0, the first term P delta V, that becomes 0, and as in conclusion we can say delta H is equal to delta U. When it is a gas phase reaction conducted in a closed rigid container of a fixed volume, then delta V becomes 0. But when it is a gas, instead of gas phase, it is a reaction with solid and liquid components with. For reaction with solid and liquid components only. When it is solid or liquid, change in a volume is not very significant. Delta V we can say is a 0. So for such a reactions involving only solids and liquid component, delta V is 0. And when delta V is 0, as in conclusion, we can say delta H is equal to delta U. Okay. So in all, wherever delta N or delta V is 0 by any reason, by any mean, in that case enthalpy change and entropy change, these two changes become equal to each other. Delta H is equals to delta U. Conventionally we also stated that delta H is a QP value and it is a heat exchanged at a constant pressure, and delta U is a QV value, heat exchanged at a constant volume. So for convention we can say QP is equals to QV when delta H is equal to delta U. Okay, so these are the possible cases in which enthalpy change can be equal to internal energy change. Okay. Now next to this, we are about to start enthalpy change in a phase transition. These are the theoretical values, definitions, and we would see one by one. So next, to internal and enthalpy change, we will start with enthalpies of phase transitions. The term phase transition means a physical state change of a physical state, we can say. So when we relate with change of a physical state, we relate with the three distinct states of matter: solid, liquid and gases. And the process of interconversion of this matter are based on from which state we are starting and to which state we are reaching. Okay. When solid is converted to liquid, the change is called fusion. It is also called melting, conversion of solid to liquid. Then liquid to gas is called vaporization. Also called evaporation in some cases. And then reverse is also possible. Gas can be converted into liquid. The process is called liquefaction or condensation. And even a liquid can be converted to solid. The process is called solidification or freezing. These are the four physical state transition processes. Two more changes are possible. The fifth change is solid can be directly converted to gas. This is called sublimation. And reverse, gas can be directly converted into solid. This is also called reverse sublimation. In fact, commonly it is also called sublimation, but the transition is from a gas to solid and therefore it is called a reverse sublimation. And the first one, solid to gas, is called sublimation. These are the 6 distinct phase transition processes, and we are going to set a definitions for enthalpies of a phase transition for all these type of phase transition processes. Wherever we would deal with the enthalpy change, we will relate with the sign of it, whether the change is with a positive sign or it is with a negative sign, and that depends on whether the corresponding change is endothermic or exothermic in nature. So before moving to that, we would make it clear. When we convert solid to liquid or liquid to gas, we are going to break the intermolecular forces. So wherever we break intermolecular force, wherever we break an attractive interaction, it is always an endothermic change. So fusion, vaporization and this sublimation, conversion of solid to liquid, liquid to gas or conversion of solid to gas, all of these arrows which are pointing from left to right, the changes which are represented here from left to right, they all are endothermic changes. And when they are endothermic changes, the enthalpy change will be positive for them, positive delta H. Reverse of this, all the arrows which are pointing from a right to left, from gas to liquid, liquid to solid, or from gas to solid direct, they are pointing from a right hand side to left hand side. All of these changes are exothermic changes and the corresponding enthalpy changes are negative for it. Okay, so left to right it's a positive enthalpy change and right to left it is a negative enthalpy change. This is a basic guideline to decide the different enthalpies. Okay. Now we would start with individual enthalpy change and we would deal with enthalpy of fusion, vaporization, condensation, freezing, sublimation and reverse sublimation. One by one we would deal with them. So let us start with first phase transition, physical state conversion from solid state into liquid state. Okay. The first phase transition of solid into liquid is called enthalpy of fusion. It is represented as delta FUS capital H. Read it as enthalpy of a fusion. Now how to define it, that is important. Now when we say physical state is changed by providing heat to that material substance, we generally assume that the process of conversion of physical state started from a room temperature. Let us assume we have certain solid and we are about to convert it into the liquid mass. So we start heating it. If we measure the quantity of heat given to that matter from the beginning of process till it completely convert to liquid, then that whole enthalpy change, total heat given to that object, that will not be its a correct enthalpy of a fusion. That is the amount of heat given to that material substance in an entire process. But that entire heat is not utilized in a physical state conversion. Then where it gone? We would see it one by one. Now suppose we have a solid metal material or solid substance, a known solid it is, for which melting point is a 300 Kelvin. For convenience, let us consider 600 Kelvin. Room temperature is a 270, 298, around 300 Kelvin. Beyond that, around 300 degrees Celsius it is. So this one is its a melting point. If we start to heat this material solid at room temperature, we will observe that on starting, material will receive the heat and its a temperature will increase by certain measurable amount, but its physical state will not change. Get it clear? On beginning, when we heat the object start to receive the heat, but immediately do not start to change its a physical state. It go on receiving the heat. It keeps on receiving it. How long it will receive the heat only? How long it will store that heat into the entire bulk of that matter? As long it will reach to its melting point. Now when temperature of this object becomes equal to melting point of it, then the heat content which is given after that point, when the object has reached to its melting point, the heat which is given next to that will start to break the particle and it will start to convert it into the liquid. Means process of a physical state conversion has not begun at the room temperature from where we have started heating the object. Getting it? But in fact, the process of a physical state conversion has begun from the point which is as a reference considered as a melting point of that object. So from the melting point it start to convert it into the liquid mass. At the melting point this solid started to convert into the liquid mass, and the process will continue as long entire solid is converted into liquid. And at the end, when the entire solid mass is converted into liquid, if we would analyze the temperature of a liquid mass, then its temperature will be again equal to melting point of that object. Means slowly we are heating the object, it is receiving heat for a longer time, that increases its temperature to melting point. Now beyond melting point, when extra heat is given to that material solid, that provided heat start to break the particle from each other, separate the particle from each other, and that convert the physical state from a solid into liquid. Means the entire process of conversion of solid into liquid is conducted at constant temperature. Got it? The temperature of a material solid increased from room temperature to its melting point. Throughout the course, the temperature with the time has increased, but the temperature increased up to melting point only. This is a melting point, this one is a room temperature. From room temperature to melting point, temperature gradually increased with the absorption of a heat, but beyond that, beyond melting point, temperature remained constant, and whatever heat is given, that is utilized to break the intermolecular forces, and that break in intermolecular forces is responsible for its physical state change. So what we observe is that the conversion of a solid into liquid, that occurs at a certain constant temperature, and that constant temperature for material substance is nothing but it's a melting point when it is a fusion process. So as an conclusion we can say, amount of heat which is given to that matter from this point where it start to convert to this point where it is completely converted to liquid, this much heat content given this time slot is the enthalpy of fusion. This heat content is its enthalpy of fusion. What about the initial heat then that we have given to the object? That is utilized to rise the temperature. It is not the part of phase transition. Clear it? So why we are discussing this entire thing? The reason is we need to clarify the definition for it. Okay. So enthalpy of a fusion, thermodynamically defined as, it is the enthalpy change accompanying phase transition or physical state conversion from solid to liquid at constant temperature and pressure. Okay. Now one more thing we would add to this. Okay. So enthalpy of a fusion is what? It is the enthalpy change accompanying transition of a solid material into liquid at constant temperature and pressure. Now enthalpy is an extensive property. It depends on amount of matter present in the system. So amount of heat given depends on how much quantity of matter is present in. So we need to specify the matter also. Getting it? So for defining a standard enthalpy for any material change, we can say it is the enthalpy change accompanying transition from solid to liquid at constant temperature and pressure for 1 mole of that substance. For 1 mole, when we state, we define the amount, fix the amount, and that corresponding enthalpy change is called as enthalpy of fusion. The enthalpy change accompanying conversion of 1 mole of solid into liquid at a constant temperature and pressure is called its enthalpy of fusion. Easy now it is. Okay. When we start to represent the process, let us say X is the material substance which is solid and by quantity it is a 1 mole. It is converted to X liquid again by amount 1 mole, and the conversion is conducted at constant temperature and pressure. Then corresponding enthalpy change is called enthalpy of fusion, and this enthalpy of fusion for this material substance will be given as certain X kilojoule per mole. Now when it is represented for 1 mole of that substance, it will be given in the unit kilojoule per mole. It is certain X unknown amount it is. Now when we express enthalpy change for a specified 1 mole, then enthalpy of fusion as a characteristics will become intensive property. So it is a intensive property. And second thing, we are providing heat to the system, absorbing heat by the system, system is absorbing heat from the surrounding. So when heat is absorbed, then the sign for enthalpy change will be positive. This we cleared already. So enthalpy of a fusion will be given as a plus X kilojoule per mole. It is a intensive property defined for 1 mole of substance. It is the phase transition for 1 mole from solid to liquid at a constant temperature and pressure. This is a basic standard definition which we defined for 1 mole of a solid to liquid, and from here we could have the definition for all phase transition. Therefore, we discussed it in detail, because from this we are going to derive the all enthalpy changes in the same manner. Okay. So we have clear definition of enthalpy of fusion, a little rearrangement, and we can define it like it is the enthalpy change accompanying phase transition from solid to liquid at constant temperature and pressure for 1 mole of substance. Likewise, it will be represented as delta FUSH, and the sign of enthalpy change will be positive. It is a intensive property. Now when we come to the reverse transition from liquid to solid material, it is called a freezing. So enthalpy of a freezing will be, or enthalpy of a solidification, this will be reverse of fusion, and it is represented as delta freeze capital H. We have a basic guideline for enthalpy change, and that guideline is enthalpy is a state function. It depends on initial and final state. So when we started from solid and reached to final state liquid, there was certain X enthalpy change. X is the amount. Now when we start from liquid and move to the solid, we have a same destinations, so it will be again X. But the little change will be what? If the forward change is positive, then latter will be negative, or if a forward is negative, then latter will be positive. Means only reversal of sign will be there, because initial and final states are same. Enthalpy change during the course of transition will be same. This means enthalpy of fusion is exactly equal to enthalpy of freezing with a reverse sign only. So as in convention we can say enthalpy of freezing is equal to minus of enthalpy of fusion. So if it was a plus X for a transition of 1 mole solid into liquid, then this will be minus X for transition of 1 mole 1 mole of liquid into solid. Rest everything will be same. It is the enthalpy change accompanying a phase transition of 1 mole of liquid into solid mass at a constant temperature and pressure. It will be defined as, it will be denoted as delta freeze H, and the sign for delta freeze H will be negative signs because it is exothermic. Now because it is defined for 1 mole of substance, this is also an intensive property. हे पण एक intensive character आहे. So as a final conclusion, we have this enthalpy of freezing is reverse of enthalpy of fusion. Okay. Then next to this is enthalpy of vaporization. Now what is enthalpy of vaporization? Clear it is now. Enthalpy of vaporization denoted as delta VAP capital H. This is also conversion of 1 mole of liquid into gas at constant temperature and pressure. So we would represent this one. 1 mole of liquid is converted to 1 mole of gas at constant temperature and pressure. So corresponding enthalpy change is enthalpy of vaporization. Okay. When we would represent this, this will be as enthalpy of vaporization, and its a sign will be positive because it is breaking of intermolecular forces, or the process involves absorption of a heat. Okay. Now when we move to the reverse of it, it is conversion of a gas into liquid. And here we conducted liquid to gas conversion. Reverse is a gas into liquid, and that is called as enthalpy of condensation. This is also called liquefaction. Okay. So as an conclusion, the fourth enthalpy of condensation, this can be defined as, likewise it is denoted as enthalpy of condensation H. It is the conversion of 1 mole of gas into liquid at a constant temperature and pressure again. So this will be reverse of vaporization. So with the sign functions, enthalpy of vaporization is reverse of enthalpy of condensation. Like here, freezing is reverse of fusion, vaporization is reverse of condensation, or reverse we can say enthalpy of condensation is reverse of vaporization, negative of vaporization. And then the fifth one is enthalpy of sublimation. Everywhere a common theme is what? Whatever enthalpy change we are conducting, this should be conducted at constant temperature and pressure, and the enthalpy change should be measured for 1 mole of that particular substance. When it is conducted at constant temperature pressure and measured for 1 mole of a substance, then it is called a standard enthalpy change for that particular phase transition. Okay. Now what is a sublimation? Theoretically we can say it is enthalpy change accompanying transition from 1 mole solid to gas directly at constant temperature and pressure is called enthalpy of sublimation. As a representation we can say 1 mole of solid is converted to 1 mole of gas at constant temperature and pressure. The change is enthalpy of sublimation. Now because it is a forward change, this enthalpy of sublimation, this will be positive and expressed in kilojoule per mole. All the standard enthalpy changes are always expressed in a kilojoule per mole, and whenever enthalpy is expressed per mole, then it becomes an intensive property. So this one is also intensive. Now what about reverse sublimation? Clear it is? Enthalpy of reverse sublimation is minus of enthalpy of sublimation. Nothing different. It is again a transition of 1 mole gas into 1 mole solid at constant temperature and pressure directly. That is called enthalpy for a reverse sublimation. That will be again an intensive property defined for 1 mole, but now it will be with a negative sign because forward change is positive. Forward positive, the reverse will be negative for it. Okay. So, these are all what enthalpies of a phase transition. The theme behind enthalpy of a phase transition is that whenever we consider a phase transition, it do not begin at that point from where the process had started. It begins from the point from where the actual physical state has begun. Likewise, as we discussed here, it started from melting at melting point. When we consider vaporization, it will start at the point which is the boiling point of that liquid. Liquid will start to convert into gas, but at the point when it reaches to its boiling point. Beyond boiling point, its temperature do not increase. That given heat start to change the physical state. Below the boiling point, when we heat that liquid start to receive the heat. It keeps on receiving as long it reaches to boiling point. Once it reaches to that, then the excess of heat break the intermolecular force and then the conversion begins. So, we are going to concentrate on the heat given during the conversion only. आपल्याला तो एंथॅल्पी चेंज पाहिजे जो फेज ट्रान्झिशनसाठी रिस्पॉन्सिबल आहे, तो नाही तो प्रोसेसला बिगिन करण्यापासून लागलेला. दॅट इज द इंडस्ट्रियल पार्ट, wastage of energy we can say, or it is the energy given as a raw form of energy. Actual conversion has begun from the point which may be the boiling point, melting point as we considered it, and from that it has started. Clear with it? So, make it clear, whenever we consider a phase transition, it should be conducted at a constant temperature and pressure. Everywhere we mentioned it, constant temperature and pressure. For the first again we mentioned that was constant temperature and pressure. Here again mentioned with constant temperature and pressure. Whenever at a constant temperature pressure phase transition is conducted, then it becomes a standard phase transition, and whenever it is a standard, then it should be an intensive property defined for a fixed 1 mole of that substance. Okay, the present lecture मध्ये आपण इथं थांबून we have completed with the enthalpies of phase transition. In upcoming video, we will see enthalpy changes from some other processes, and then we would continue. Thank you.